Good day, everyone. My name is Kato B.F. Martinez. I am a Master's in Public Administration student from the Lyceum of the Philippines University, Manila campus. Before I will start my presentation, I would like to acknowledge first Dr. Chua, Dean for the Graduate School of LPU Manila, Dr. Rolla, as well as Dr. Rotario. Now, let me share to you my screen. So my case study is entitled Perspective on Immigration Electronic Gates or e-gates installed at NAIA International Airport, Terminals 1, 2, and 3. I have been with the Bureau of Immigration for 8 years already. I decided to undertake this study in order to add inputs which will benefit the Bureau. This image was taken at NAIA Terminal 3. These are the 5 e-gates installed there. So I will be giving you a short background of the study. The Bureau of Immigration is an agency under the Department of Justice, which has the primary responsibility of regulating the arrival, stay, and exit of foreign nationals, as well as the monitoring of entry and exit of Filipinos in compliance with Philippine laws and other legal procedures. It is the sole entity who has the responsibility of securing our borders from undesirable aliens and apprehension of persons with derogatory records such as withhold departure order, blacklist order, and watch list order. Next slide. For the past years, manual clearing has been the only means of the Bureau in processing passengers in our international airports. The standard processing time of passenger to be cleared at the immigration counter is 45 seconds. However, with the ever-increasing number of flights, passengers experience long queues at the airport. The International Airport Transportation Association, or IATA, introduced the Fast Travel Program, which aims to simplify and efficiently improve the clearing processes and provide new concepts and technologies for air travel operations. This program led to the introduction of new technologies, such as the electronic gates, which is used by countries like the United States, Japan, and Singapore. Last July 23, 2018, the Bureau of Immigration launched the use of electronic gates in Ninoy Aquino International Airports. The e-gates project was primarily aimed to cut the immigration processing time of arriving Filipino passengers from the standard 45 seconds to 10 to 15 seconds. It aims to enhance the process of clearing time and reduce human errors in processing passengers. Ascent Solution Philippines, together with MyTalk Information Technology Corporation and Unison Computer Systems, are the provider of the e-gates, which are installed in 6 international airports of the country. The e-gates are equipped with modern security features such as facial recognition, biometric scanning, barcode reading, and derogatory record detection. The e-gate system is designed as a self-service immigration clearance, but at the same time provides the Bureau with efficiency and accuracy in pinpointing citizens on their watch list and/or persons of interest. This facility can only be used by Filipinos with machine-readable passports. For the e-gate operation, the first step is scan the QR code of arrival boarding pass to the QR reader of the e-gate. Next step, scan the bio page of the Philippine passport, which is usually found at the first page of the passport. It shows a photograph and details of the holder of the passport. Third step, after the data is successfully read by the system, proceed for biometrics, facial capture, and fingerprint scanning. The last step, claim the immigration clearance sticker and affix on passport visa page. Currently, there are a total of 12 international airports operating the country and 1 international seaport. Of these 12 international airports, there are only 6 airports which have the e-gate system. These are the Ninoy Aquino International Airport Terminals 1, 2, and 3, Clark International Airport, Mactan Cebu International Airport, and Davao International Airport. As of July 2020, there are a total of 21 electronic gates operating from different international airports across the country. The e-gates were a 340 million pesos project by the national government to help in decongesting the long queues at the immigration area, and to help in expediting the process of arriving Filipinos. The e-gates can transact a total of 15 million arrivals per year and 41,000 arrivals daily. Its database can store 500,000 derogatory records and 45 million arrival records in a 3-year retention period. The e-gates database is capable to store the traveler's records, such as the traveler and flight information, electronic passport data page, electronic passport chip data, and live captured biometrics data. It uses the Bureau of Immigration's existing network infrastructure and connectivity in the airports. Included in the security features of the e-gates are the anti-tailgating and more than one person detection within interlocking zone. It has also traveler or object detection and anti-slam features. The e-gate's hand grip railing is made of stainless steel. It has light-emitting diode LED indicators and has a 7-inch LED monitor displaying lighted graphic for prompting passengers of movement. So for the point of view, I put Jaime H. Morente, who is the current Commissioner of the Bureau of Immigration. He was appointed by President Rodrigo R. Duterte as Commissioner of the Bureau of Immigration last July 2016. He was a graduate of the Philippine Military Academy Class 1981 Dimalupig, and he handled several key positions in the Philippine National Police and Philippine Constabulary before he retired service in 2015. He was also a former Davao Regional Police Chief during the height of Duterte's political career in Davao City. Under the Commonwealth Act of 613, or also known as the Philippine Immigration Act of 1940, the Commissioner of the Bureau of Immigration is appointed by the President with the approval of the Commission of Appointments. As a Commissioner of the Bureau of Immigration, he is in charge of the administration of all laws relating to the immigration of aliens into the Philippines and has the immediate control, direction, supervision of all employees of the Bureau of Immigration. Next slide. For the time context, the takeoff of the analysis was last November 15, 2019, more than a year after the e-gates installed at the Ninoy Aquino International Airports became fully operational. It was observed that its production yielded a small value compared to the total number of arriving Filipino passengers. Let us now proceed to the SWOT analysis. So for the strengths and weaknesses, these are the internal factors. First, identified strength of the e-gates is facial recognition and fingerprint scanning. It is equipped with derogatory record checks such as the whole departure, blacklist order, watchlist order, and alert list order. It has linkages to Interpol and NBI system or database, 24/7 customer service with third-party provider, automation of the border control process, removes human error in processing of passengers. For its weaknesses, software glitches and system error, long processing time for first-time users due to difficulty in access, a need for personnel to guide or assist passengers in its usage because sometimes due to loss of boarding pass, the passenger cannot use the e-gates. Unable to process passengers below 4 feet, example of which is children. So they have to go to the normal immigration clearance. Unable to process passengers in wheelchair. Unable to process old versions of Philippine passports, it can only process electronic passports. For its opportunities and threats, these are the external factors. For the opportunities, technological advancement, expansion of flight routes, implementation of advanced passenger information system or APIs, and for the threats, the identified are risks on assumed identity and fraudulently acquired passports, security breaches from third-party provider. Next slide, the case problem. The immigration electronic gates or e-gates can be used by arriving Filipino passengers who want a self-service option to speed up their immigration process. However, it was observed that many passengers have a hard time in using the e-gates, which results to longer clearance and buildup of queues. What is the objective of this case study? The objective of this study is to speed up the processing time of e-gates to 10 to 15 seconds by the second quarter of 2021. I have identified three alternative courses of action, or ACA. The first alternative course of action is designation of immigration personnel to assist or guide passengers in each e-gates. Second one is software upgrade of the e-gates and correction of glitches. Lastly, the third one, collaboration with other government agencies and airline companies for dissemination of information and how to use the e-gates. So now let me cite the advantages and disadvantages of each ACA. For the first ACA, which is designation of immigration personnel in each e-gate to assist or guide passengers, the advantages are managed queues and profiling of passengers. However, the disadvantages are it requires additional manpower for immigration personnel, and it relies on Bureau of Immigration personnel for passengers faster processing at the e-gate. For the next ACA, which is software upgrade of e-gates and correction of glitches, the advantages are faster processing of passengers, shorter immigration queues, and software upgrade. However, the disadvantages, or disadvantage because I only cited one, additional cost to the third-party provider. For the ACA 3, which is collaboration with other government agencies and airline companies for dissemination of information on how to use the e-gates, the advantages are may help in informing the public on the e-gate procedure, lessen the passengers' processing time at the e-gate. The disadvantages or disadvantage, additional expenses for the concerned government agencies and the airline companies. Now, let me discuss the decision matrix. The criteria being used for evaluating the alternative course of action in the decision matrix are cost, efficiency, and ease of implementation. The alternative course of actions, or the ACA, are rated from 1 to 3, 1 being fair, 2 good, and 3 very good. In the first ACA, its cost was rated as fair because it requires additional manpower expenses to designate people to do the task. Its efficiency was rated as good because there will be personnel to manage the queues and will help the passengers who are having trouble in the e-gates. This will minimize the time spent by each passenger in the e-gates, most especially for those who are first-time users of the new system. Its ease of implementation is rated as 1 or fair because designating additional personnel to man the e-gates will become challenging for the Bureau because of the shortage of immigration personnel. For the second ACA, the criteria for costs of this ACA was rated as good because there is a 5-year guarantee provided by Ascent under the terms of reference, meaning the upgrade of e-gates will not be a financial burden to the Bureau of Immigration because the solution provider is obliged under the terms of reference a 5-year guarantee of the e-gates. Its efficiency was rated as 2 or good because there is a need to upgrade the e-gate system. This is based on a time and motion study conducted last February 2020 at the e-gates installed in NAIA International Airport Terminals 1, 2, and 3. It was observed that the e-gates do not meet its expected performance, which is clearing of passengers in 10 to 15 seconds. The actual performance of e-gates based on a conducted field study is not in line with the expected performance. The field study was done during the peak hours of the 3 airports, NAIA Terminals 1, 2, and 3, when there is an influx of arriving passengers. The shortest recorded time for a passenger to be cleared by an e-gate is 23 seconds, while the longest processing time is 108 seconds. The third criteria, which is ease of implementation, is rated as good or number 2 because there is a binding contract between the Bureau of Immigration and the e-gate system provider to provide solutions to the problems of e-gates. It will not be hard to implement this ACA because the same service provider will upgrade the system and correct the identified glitches. For the third ACA, the cost of ACA 3 was rated as fair or 1 because it entails additional budget for the concerned government agencies and the airline companies to implement programs in informing the public or passengers on how to use the e-gates. Its efficiency was rated as good or 2 because one reason why passengers have a hard time with the e-gates is because of lack of information on how to use it. This is why passengers take longer time in using the e-gates. It will be easier for passengers to use the e-gates if there are visuals such as monitors and display that will help them be familiar with the process of the e-gate system. Finally, its ease of implementation was rated as 1 because this ACA involves additional costs to the government agencies concerned and airline companies. For government agencies concerned, there will be budget constraints and it will still go through the strenuous process of budget approval. Also, considering that there are lots of airline companies who have international flights in the Philippines, it might be difficult to get a proper forum with them and get a positive response with regards to the utilization of their in-flight monitors for e-gates procedure visuals. Recommendation. Based on the result derived from the decision matrix, the second alternative course of action got the highest rating, which is 6 points. I recommend this ACA because based on the time and motion study of e-gates done last February 2020 at all the NAIA Terminals, it was observed that there is a need to upgrade the e-gate software and correct its glitches in order to meet its expected project performance, which is to lessen the processing time of passengers from the standard 45 seconds to 10 to 15 seconds. The e-gate system was a project by the national government to make the immigration process of arriving Filipino passengers faster and more efficient. However, it seems that it does not really serve its purpose because as per data collected in the time and motion study of e-gates, it takes a while for a passenger to be processed. The same study was also conducted for the manual immigration clearance, and it was found that the clearance of passenger is faster compared to the e-gates. Moreover, there are several limitations of e-gates such as that it can process passengers who are in wheelchair or passengers who are children. For the action plan, the first activity will be meeting with ASCENT or the service provider for the e-gates. The office responsible will be the Management Information System Division, the Port Operations Division, the Airport Operations Section, the Bureau of Immigration Technical Inspection and Acceptance Committee, and the ASCENT. For the time frame that I indicated it here, third quarter of 2020. And the next activity will be correction of glitches and enhancement of software. The office responsible will be the Management Information System Division of the Bureau of Immigration and the service provider. The time frame will be fourth quarter of 2020. The third activity will be review an e-gates upgrade. Number of processed passengers, how passengers are processed, and immigration queuing. The office responsible will be the Port Operations Division, the Airport Operations Section, the Management Information System Division, and the Bureau of Immigration Technical Inspection and Acceptance Committee. The time frame will be first quarter of 2021. The last activity will be, The last activity will be evaluation and recommendation of operation development. The office responsible will be the Office of the Commissioner because he will be the approving authority, and the Port Operations Division. The time frame for that is second quarter of 2021. So that ends my presentation, everyone. Thank you and keep safe always.